Welcome to the Encore Audio Archives YouTube channel. I'm Taper Dave, and this is my channel. I've uploaded hundreds of talks here that I've recorded at meetings in West LA, and I've also recorded conventions starting in 2013. I've got a bunch of those up. And Walt and Mary Murray, the original owners of Encore Audio Archives, started the company in the 80s, and Walt recorded Joe and Charlie's and a bunch of stuff down in Vista, California. My sobriety date is June 20th of 1994. I hope you find something you like, so please like and subscribe to my channel and comment down below. If you want to hear something that I don't have or that you don't see, I'll see that I get it. Anyways, take care and have a great day if you want to.
Hi, good evening. I'm Sheila and I'm an alcoholic. And thank you, Aaron, for asking me to speak tonight. Oh, what was it like? It was lonely. It was very, very lonely. That's one of the of my childhood and before I got sober. The greatest feeling that I remember is just being very, very lonely, no matter how many people I was around. I was born in New York, in Queens, New York City. I'm from a huge family. I'm one of 10 kids. By the time I was in the 4th grade, I was finished with God. I had said my dad was an alcoholic, and I said. You know, I used to pray, please God, let him drop dead. You know, I was in the 4th grade, and he didn't. You know, he didn't drop dead, and so I remember saying to God, that's it. I'm literally sitting on the top bunk bed in my little bedroom that I shared with 6 of my sisters. I sat there and I said, I'm done. I'm done with God. Like a lot of alcoholic parents, my parents were either really, really wonderful or just absolutely insane. So I don't really want to go in about my dad, but he did eventually die from alcoholism when I was 13, and it was crazy. He was the one who took care of the family, basically, and as far as discipline went, there were 7 teenagers, myself and my 2 younger sisters, and my mom, who didn't know what to deal with. You know, my sisters, one sister's pregnant, one sister dropped out of high school, one sister's dating like the biggest drug dealer, Dominican drug dealer in Queens. My brother's traveling the country in a punk band. I mean, the place is crazy, you know. And all I want to do is be normal. My whole goal, like to be rebellious for me when I was 13, was to go to school. You know, I didn't have to go to school, you know. Nobody ever asked me to go to school, but that's what I wanted to do. You know, you hear a lot of things from people. When I first got sober, I heard this guy speak, and he said, I'm a recovering Catholic, and everybody laughed. And you know, I don't know what other people's deal is, but when I was in high school, it was Catholic nuns who saved me from the street. I mean, they literally saved me. They said, you're good, you're smart, and they helped me get into college. So I was the first person in my family to go to college, and that's where I drank. I mean, I could have had anything I wanted as a teenager, heroin, anything. My brother was selling it out our bedroom window, you know, or, you know, but I just never used anything. And then I went to college, and I found the people, you know, I found those people who drove Volvos and Mercedes and like things that we didn't even have in Queens, and just like the mothers who looked beautiful and wore lipstick and whatnot. So here I am in this gorgeous, really shishi college, and I get invited to a cocktail party, and I have my first drink, and it was you know, I needed that drink since the 4th grade, and it was great, and it went down smooth, it went down great, and my story is wraps up quick after that. I drank for 4 years of college. I was on a scholarship. I barely made it out of there. After that, I graduated from college. I went and worked on Wall Street, where we drank all the time. We screamed numbers all day long, and then we drank at night. I worked for a Japanese brokerage, and we didn't even speak the same language, but we all drank, you know. So that was good, and it was insane. And then one day I came home and I asked my mom, who I never really had much respect for my mom because she's just such a quiet, reserved woman who, you know, went to church every day. I never got it. And she said, well, you don't have to work there. You know, you could do something else. Now, I made more money than my mother probably did in like 10 years. I made in 1 year at Wall Street. So I quit my job, and I did a switch. I got a job as a teacher. I ended up going to graduate school. I loved my job. It was great, and got addicted. I had an accident surfing, and I got addicted to Vicodin. So, coupled with a lot of drinking, my ass fell off. It was very short. It was probably when I was 19 till I was 26, and it was fast. And I was in graduate school, and I knew I was with this gentleman. I was engaged to this gentleman, and he said, he'd be at this bar, and I was in the science library, and I ended up walking to the bar up Broadway, and he was sitting there talking to a beautiful woman. And I said to him, what the hell are you doing, whatever. And I took my hand, I just took a fist, and I just punched him right in the face. I was like, who do you think you are, And then he grabbed me, don't you ever touch me again, And so then I punched him in the face again, of course, right? And what was so not funny is that he punched me back. And he was a football player from North Dakota, a huge guy. And most of the bouncers for some reason, at this filthy place called the Raccoon Lodge and Upper West Side. And so cute. And so I guess you've been there, huh? So anyway, that's my story. I ended up going to a counselor the next day. She was from Minneapolis. She said, you need help, you need sobriety, and you're an alcohol abuser. So I thought, you're right, people who are alcoholics have abused me. So where does that bring me? I'm going to go pack some sweat clothes, go sit in in a retreat place, sort of like I did in high school retreats, and let them feel sorry for me, And what happened was they didn't feel sorry for me. They were like, get honest. And it was there that I found the program of Alcoholics Anonymous. At first, I thought it was a cult. I was terrified of it. I didn't know what to make of all this niceness. One of my friends that became a good friend to me, it was really cold one night, and it was like negative 50 degrees, somewhere like that in Minnesota. Something, dramatic. And this guy drives up in his car. He's from later we ended up being in the same home group, and he drove up, and he's like, hey, you need a ride, And I'm like, you sicko. What the hell do you want from me? You know what I mean? Like, I was like, he was asking me for a ride, and he really meant to give me a ride, But I am so used to having, conflict in my life or whatever, or people who don't really care or say what they mean or whatever. So he was like, it's okay. And I called my sponsor the next day, and I said, can you believe that weird guy, Roger, asked me for a ride? She goes, no, he's not weird, he's nice, But I didn't know the difference. But anyway, back to AA. It's been a trip, it's been an amazing journey. I didn't know that I was spiritually bankrupt when I got here. I didn't know how empty I was. And I didn't know that the only thing that could fix it was a higher power. And like I said, that mother of mine that I thought really didn't know much, a couple years ago I moved back home because she was sick, and it was like she had her rosaries, her holy water, her something from Lourdes or whatever they have, and I had my medallions, my big book, my picture of Dr. Bob, So we had our little paraphernalia on either side of the bed, and it was good. And I just realized, how powerful it is for people to know that, even though it's not on the outside, but have that inner peace to know that there's a power greater than you. And that is what AA has given me. It's given me an inner peace. I was absolutely insane when I got here in a way that I couldn't everything was a conflict, there was nothing in my life that wasn't a problem. And I get to come here, and I've been sober for a little over, almost 15 years. In 2 weeks it'll be 15 years. And I'm sure it must be 10 minutes. Is it 10 minutes? No. All right. So anyway, today, what's it like today? Today, recently I got engaged to get married, which is pretty big. I'm a little over 40. So it's been it's a big deal, and it's really difficult. It's difficult because I was thinking about this last week. My fiance was having a hard time, and I just wanted, I didn't think about him having a hard time. I wanted to be right. You know, and this is what I used to do when I was using. I thought, I'm not going to lose this one. You know, like it's a fight, and I'm going to win, you know, and I'm going to get him. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the man that I adore, I love, and I don't know, even though I'm 14 years sober, I still have a hard time putting God. It's not about him, it's not about me, it's about the relationship, and that it's bigger than me. But sometimes my humanness and my insecurity and my smallness gets me in a lot of trouble. So that's where it is today. I have a great job. I don't know anyone who loves their job more than I do. I work with children. This week, actually, I was playing basketball, and I got knocked in the face and my tooth got knocked out, and my doctor offered me some Vicodin, and I was like, whoo, right, you know. And it was a minute of a little bit of and I didn't even take the prescription. I said, you know, I just need a couple of Motrin and I think I'll be fine. But it's insidious. This disease is powerful, and you know, even though on the one hand things are great, and on the other hand, in the middle of the week, just offering me something that could change me. What do I need to be altered for, you know? But I always need to be altered, you know what I mean? You know what I mean, that thought. I always need to be altered, you know? So there you have it. Anyway, thanks for listening to me, and welcome to the newcomers.
Sorry to interrupt your viewing. Taper Dave here. Just wanted to take a second to ask you to like and subscribe to my channel. Let me know if you like what you're listening. I've got some very good talks here, and this one's a great one. Just curious, do you think this is better than Zoom? Tell me what you think. Okay, this is how I prepare my drone for launching. I like to do it inside the cab of my truck so I'm not standing outside in the weather. To install the joysticks for control, up and down, right and left, powered on. I have an Android phone that I use to connect it to the drone with. And it's actually controlled through the iPhone, through an app. Oops, wrong way. It's actually controlled through the iPhone, or through this Android phone, through the app. It's actually controlled through the Android phone, through an app, and you connect it through this short connection right here.
Remote control connected.
Remote control's connected. So I pull out the drone. I have to extend the legs. Long legs extended first, then the short legs. Remove the gimbal protector. Set that aside, then power it on one short burst, then one long burst. I lay it down. So I have to go to calibrate. So the drone's not connected yet. It shows you here as this drone gets disconnected, even though the remote's powered on. So the drone has to establish it's connected. So I go into the app to calibration mode. First I'll calibrate the remote controller. Start calibration. Out, in, oop, out, in, up, down, and then this little wheel is to control the gimbal. So it's calibrated. Go to gimbal calibration, start calibration, and then it calibrates the gimbal. I don't know if that shows up. The gimbal's moving all over the place. Changes, you can see it on the video. And I'm calibrated to take off. It's acquired 7 satellites at the moment. There are 26 satellites up in the sky, which it has to acquire before you can take off. So it's connected. It's got enough satellites. This is white. I can go to press this little arrow button, swipe right to take off, and it would start the motors if I slid this to the right, but I'll wait till I get outside. Don't want to do it inside.